A European-American alliance against China. Brussels is advocating for closer ties with Washington to counter Chinese steel and is calling for a reduction in the current 50% tariffs. The European Commission is hosting the U.S. Secretary of Commerce and the trade representative in Brussels for another round of negotiations on tariffs imposed on steel and its derivatives. The EU hopes to reduce the surcharges to 15%. New round of negotiations. The European Union will argue on Monday for a reduction in the tariffs imposed by Washington on imports of steel and a whole range of products containing it during a visit by U.S. officials to Brussels. And the European Commission is still seeking a tariff exemption for the wine and spirit sector. U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick and Trade Representative Jamieson Greer have been invited to a meeting of European ministers to review the implementation of the agreement reached this summer. We still have work to do, particularly on steel and related products, where we are seeking to reduce tariffs and work together to combat global overcapacity attributed to China, said European Trade Commissioner Maros Šefčovič on Monday, after speaking with Jamieson Greer the previous day. After months of tough negotiations, Brussels and Washington reached a trade agreement at the end of July that includes a 15% tariff on European goods entering the United States, higher than before Donald Trump's return to power, but lower than what the U.S. president had threatened to impose. However, several points of contention remain unresolved by this agreement and will be on the agenda for discussions this Monday. The Europeans are demanding, in particular, a reduction to 15% of U.S. tariffs, which President Donald Trump set at 50% on imports of steel, aluminum, and several hundred products containing these materials. They also still hope to secure total tariff exemptions for certain key sectors, such as wines and spirits. The EU, which in turn imposed higher tariffs on steel imports last month to protect its producers, would like to go further and join forces with the United States to better combat the unfair competition it accuses China of creating. For their part, the Americans are demanding that the Europeans eliminate their tariffs on products imported from the United States, as they committed to do in the agreement, and are asking them to review regulations deemed too restrictive for American companies, particularly regarding the environment and digital technologies. Since the signing of the trade agreement, we have encountered obstacles, that's obvious, but it's important to move forward and remember that the United States and Europe have a lot to lose if we don't join forces.